Every day, we give you 4 examples of what happened the previous day. 4 examples of where ChatterFlow issued alerts and gave you the advance warning that, hey, this stock's about to move. So let's just look at 4 of them that happened yesterday. Then what we'll do is we'll go to some real-time stuff that happened today. So the way to look at this is you see the yellow dot over here. The yellow dot is the exact time, which is a little bit before pre-market, where we issued an alert, meaning you would get the notification that there is something unusual going on in the social media universe about this particular stock. We'll show you later what that looks like, but we're alerting you of that. So you know at this point in time, you know what, this stock's most likely going to move. And within the next 2 hours, 2.5 hours, the stock the stock moves almost 100%, almost 95%. And if you look over here, it gives you kind of a summary of what, number one, it gives you the time, and it gives you a summary of what was going on in the social media world, what was people were chatting about. Next example, at 3:55, right before market closes, we get a notification. There's something unusual going on in social media world about this particular stock. It's a bullish indication. People are talking about it. Stock then tends to go up, doesn't tend to, it goes up 35% over the next hour or so. Everything we're doing here is intraday. There's really nothing overnight where we see an alert today, we buy or we short, and then we sell tomorrow or recover tomorrow. It's all happening intraday, including pre-market hours and post-market hours. So in your mind, I guess I would think 2 hours before they open and 2 hours after they open. That's when it starts and that's when it ends. Another example, PDYN, yesterday, 7 in the morning, we issue an alert, something's going on, the stock runs up over the next hour, 34%. Okay, these are just examples of yesterday. So this right here now, we're looking at actually today, what happened today. So let's just walk through the system so we know what we're looking at. Over here in the alert feed, what we have are the actual alerts. So those yellow dots we were showing, that's when the alerts come in. So for example, Stryker Corporation at 4:15, right when the market closed, we were issued an alert. Hey, you might want to watch Stryker because there's a very strong chance that the stock's about to move. All the way down, here's the list of the alerts that we had today. So from pre-market till as I speak to you right now, there were a total of 42 alerts, 42 different names that came out. If we look at actually, this was actually an alert yesterday as well. We look at it today. So this is today. We issued an alert right here at 9:35 telling you what the chatter is about. Clearly, that's bullish chatter. Immediately after that, the stock goes up from $3 to over $4, 4.5. That's actually about a 45, almost 50% move on the stock within an hour. There were a couple of other really good examples today. I know we had Valero that was on a short side, right at the market. Stock comes out. We're issuing an alert telling you something's going to happen, and then the stock drops from 91 all the way down to 82. If you're the type of trader that watches these expensive stocks, these moves will get very exaggerated. Like here, it's a 10-point move. Another example, I'm just kind of slowly looking through this. This was a great one. I actually caught this one today myself. The alert came out over here at 10:50 in the morning. Some chatter, talk about positive chatter on it. I was watching the stock. Shortly after that, it was easy to tell that the stock was basing. And what I do is I don't want to make this a trading session, but I literally watched the tape and I literally saw the buyers come in and the thing jumped up about $2, which was a great trade today. This TCGL, I'm actually hesitant to show this because This is not an everyday occurrence. So take that with a grain of salt. We issued an alert here at 11:05 today. The stock then gets halted at 30 bucks and opens up over 100. That is something that doesn't happen too much. That's a pennies from heaven, so to speak. Again, you're not going to see 2,000 plus or whatever returns daily, but you're looking at one right now. All right, let's move on a little bit. Over here, this is what we call a bubble map. And what this does, if you hover over any of these bubbles, it tells you not on the day, but since we gave you the alert, how much the stock is up. For example, I'm hovering over the feed again, which was the first one that we showed. Since we gave you the alert, since ChatterFlow notified you, hey, watch this stock went up 29%. You look over here, since we gave you the alert that there's something going to happen in this stock went down nearly 50%, which is a marvelous short, so forth and so on. Here's another one. This was a great short. Today I caught this one as well. Or actually, this was given to me from somebody who caught it. I caught it after them. The bigger the bubble, the bigger the move. So this is just going to give you the top 10, not moves of the day, but ChatterFlow moves of the day, meaning the top 10 alerts thus far. This is dynamic. This will change throughout the day. Hover over this. Since we gave you the alert, the stock's down 25%. All right. Buzz map over here is just what people are talking about. What's going on in the buzz? And again, everything here is social media. What are people talking about in social media? So I don't have to have Facebook up, YouTube up, Twitter up, Discord up, 40 Discord channels, Reddit up. We're telling you, we're giving you all this information right here. People talking most about SanDisk, and then Apple, Visa, so forth and so on. So it kind of gives you a good overview of what's happening in social media. Over here, scrolling chatter. Scrolling chatter is similar to, I guess the best way to think of scrolling chatter is to think of like a news wire where news headlines keep coming in, a scrolling news wire that's relevant to stocks. For example, Bloomberg, AP Newswire, Reuters Newswire, Globe Newswire. These are scrolling headlines, and it will let you know if anything relevant to stocks comes out. Doesn't tell you if a stock is going up or going down, but it lets you know, hey, there's some news about a particular stock. Scrolling chatter does the exact same thing, except it's within social media. Whenever something happens in social media that doesn't make our alerts, you're going to find it here. And on top of that, this doesn't necessarily mean that this isn't as good as an alert, but it just didn't have the parameters to hit the alert. So for example, Visa. Right now, people are talking about Visa. They're chatting about Visa. This will give you a summary of what they're chatting about, how they posted modest double beat revenues and EPS boost. So they're obviously coming out with earnings. The color indicates if it's positive or negative, bullish or bearish. We're telling you right now, 4:39, which is 1 minute ago, there's all this chatter going on about Visa, and it's positive chatter. Same thing, NBIS, all the way down to Robinhood. When you see something that's gray, that means it's indeterminate. It's not really bullish and it's not really bearish what people are talking about. But they're talking about it. And then if it's red, like Tesla, it's bearish. Tesla post earnings, they're weak, there are bearish technicals. So it tells you that as well. And something really cool about the scrolling chatter is that whenever a high impact influencer, somebody who historically moves markets, somebody who maybe is one of the guys who kicks off memes, kicks off viral stocks, one of the guys that maybe has great stock picks and he has a big following. Somebody who's tried and tested that when they talk, the market listens. That type of influencer. When they say something, we bring it to you in real time. We let you know there was a high impact influencer that just mentioned the stock. And we'll even give you the post, tell you what they said, how they mentioned it. So we're bringing all that social media stuff here, because nowadays, social media, more so than technical and fundamental analysis, social media tends to move markets significantly more. A stock could come out with earnings, but people talk about it, talk it up on social media, the thing's going up, and vice versa. And we all see that. We know we've seen it in the most extreme examples with AMC and GameStop, and then we've seen it with all the 1,000+ examples that followed since, that don't get the news attention, of course, as the Bed Bath and Beyonds and GameStops do. Another important thing to look at when an alert comes out, what we do, if you hover over here, we'll tell you what the chatter is about. Again, so you're getting another summary of what the chatter is about. These guys clearly announced an acquisition. It triggered our algorithm, our proprietary algorithm that's telling you this stock's going to move. You bet your bottom dollar on it, it's going to move. So you should be watching that stock. We also have some basic functionality. For example, if you wanted to funnel this by market cap, I know when I first started out, I showed Valero, which is almost a $280 stock, and then I showed Feed, which is a $3 stock, right? So we're looking, spanning price point, the whole market. The market cap of Valero's probably 80 billion, and the market cap of Feed might be 80 million, right? Big difference. You might be the kind of investor, trader who only wants to deal with some high blue chip, big market cap stocks. You also might be or you might be the type of trader that doesn't, that wants to deal with the lower end stocks, the cheaper stocks. Maybe you don't have the buying power. Maybe you've had better luck with that, so forth and so on. Or you might want to be the person who kind of is in the middle. Anyway, you could filter this by market cap. So I just filtered this by the most expensive. So you're going to see the $538 stocks, the 665s, and kind of all the way down. Or you could flip it around and do it the other way. Like I said, the feed and all the way up. So when an alert comes out, it'll in real time take its appropriate place if you filter it in the lineup. So in essence, if you want small cap stuff, you won't even see the big cap stuff, and vice versa. You can also filter your alerts by times or by SEC filing. So this is not a social media thing. This is probably the only part of the product that isn't social media focused. But we found it important when we were doing our focus groups, and a lot of traders have reported to us that they do find it helpful if a company post an SEC filing, because that's not a press release. That's something that goes up on this obscure SEC website where companies have to post material information. And usually the person that sees that first is the one that gets the head start. So we attach that as well here. So you could do that too. You could filter it by SEC filings. And if you see one of those purple stars, that is an indication that there was an SEC filing. And you could literally go right to the filing from there. The link will tell you. A couple of cool stuff here. We have a watch list. You could add to your watch list if there are particular stocks you want to watch. You just put them there on the watch list. It'll notify you when anything's going on with that in social media. You'll always be informed with that. Also, we have a news wire. So this is just news, traditional old school news, if that's something that you want to have up as well and kind of have it juxtaposed to the chatter news. You certainly will see a lot of overlap at times when a company announces something, I don't know if Apple announces um, a function of a new iPhone, you're going to see it everywhere. You can see it all over social media. You'll see it all over the newswire. So you'll see overlap there. And in a lot of cases, probably even see more cases than not, you won't see the overlap because what people generally are chatting about is not fundamental news. The news is out already. It's more about, I'm going to buy this thing. Let's buy this thing. It's going higher. Their opinions on it, which ultimately garners steam, and it becomes one of those back and forth between people on social media, and it has a significant impact on the stocks, and it gets you in the conversation. Overall, that's kind of the nutshell. What we're doing here is we're getting on top of that buzz because that buzz is what's moving stocks. We see it time and time again. On any given day, we're averaging about 35 alerts. Those 35 alerts are pretty indicative and very strong that you're going to see a move in the stock. A question I get often is, okay, then an alert comes out. Do I buy it? Do I short it? If I buy it, where do I sell it? If I short it, where do I cover it? I think something to understand is that this is not a quick buck system. It's not a gimmicky buy here, sell now system. If you haven't been down that road before, you're going to realize that that just doesn't exist, or everybody would be a millionaire. Sometimes people confuse bull markets with brains, and that becomes very dangerous. This is giving you an edge. This is giving you a leading indicator, letting you know a stock is about to move. You watch the stock, and the stock will tell you which way it's going. Obviously, you'll see the strength, you'll see the weakness, you'll see the market, you'll see it in comparison to each other. All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for taking the time, and I hope you guys got something good out of this.